Welcome everybody. Welcome to Sweat 2021. It's fantastic to have so many people joining this important event today. We have over 1,000 people registered, which is a fantastic response from our members and partners. I'm Hugh Edwards. I'm Chief Executive of UK Active. So welcome today, and looking forward to walking you through the events over the next few hours. This is going to be a hugely important event for us today because it's all about how we thrive and evolve from the challenge that we've had over the last 12 months, especially within the boutique and independent sector. So we're really delighted to be able to put on this event and interrogate and discuss and debate some of those key areas. For us, it's really important that we're able to do three things really in the next 12 months as an organisation, supporting our members and partners. Support the survival of the sector, and obviously been a very important week this week with the announcements around the roadmaps in both England and Scotland, with further information coming out from Wales and Northern Ireland going forward. So we'll be working very closely with the government and its agencies on addressing all the outstanding questions there. When we move into reopening, it's going to be around that recovery and that really important how we recover as a sector as people come back to our facilities and our programs. And then finally, crucially, which is where we connect in with very much with this agenda, how we develop as a sector, how we make sure that our sector plays the fullest role in society. So that's going to be a really important area for us to get your counsel and advice as members and partners of UK Active as we evolve over the next 12 months, coming out of this really challenging period, and as we try and get back to the fullest possible health we can as a sector. Three key things from me. As you can see, housekeeping is going to be key today. So we're recording the event. Everybody's going to be on mute, but it's going to be really important that you have dialogue and with us across the whole day. So utilising the Q&A box and making sure you have any questions you have, making sure you ask those, and we'll get back to you as quickly as we can. Secondly, we're obviously launching a boutique digital resource pack as well, which has very much been around guidance around how we bounce back as a sector. It's been developed with our partners, and this will be available post-event and also available on the Sweat website as well. And finally, really important that we have this, always these events is not, we can't do these events without the support of our partners. So fantastic to have Technogym as our headline partner and all our wider event partners as well. It's incredibly important for us to have this support. We can't do these events without this support, and it's a real show of strength from across the sector that we're able to bring this group together. But you know, that's really fantastic for us to do. So thank you very much from me. I hope you have a great day. What I'm going to do now is hand over to Craig from Technogym to do his introduction, but congratulations and have a great day. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Technogym are delighted to be the headline partner for Sweat 2021. The event always brings great insight, great speakers, and I'm very much looking forward to the day. In particular, what opportunities lie ahead for the boutique sector, the potential for new consumers to be attracted to boutique and class experiences, as well as the trend and focus on health and wellness outcomes and wellness experience. And at Technogym, we provide the full turnkey solution. And today I'm really pleased to share that we've connected with Alliance Leisure to provide the full solution from demographic study, fit out, the best connected equipment, training and marketing support. And I'd like to just play a short video.
Thank you so much, Craig, and thank you, Techno Gym, for everything that you do in the fitness industry, but also for being headline sponsor today. Today could not happen without you guys. We see the impact that you have all around the world. So thank you to you, and also for that great introduction, Hugh, and congratulations on finally some plans to open in the UK. So hi, everybody. My name is Emma Barry, and I'm so excited to be here. I can't believe that a year ago, we launched my book at this very event, and we were all together, and here we are online. So thrilled to be here, and on behalf of Good Soul Hunting, which is something I'm a co-founder of, we're happy to partner with UK Active and bring you this wonderful day along with many of the other partners today. So just before we rip into a little bit of 10,000 foot view on the industry, let's just take a quick look at the day. We have an incredible lineup today. Now, we've met and chatted and briefed with all these people. We've got a couple of panels, we've got some keynotes, we've got an ultramat Pilates class by the Zero Gravity Pilates boys at lunchtime, and we've got some incredible insights. So lots of case studies, lots of tips and tricks to really get you bouncing back. So going through the day, I'm going to do a 10,000 foot view now. We are then going to hear from a massive success story during the pandemic, the digital experience, how to pivot successfully. And I promise I'll never use that word again, pivot. We've actually got a class at lunchtime and a quick chance to recharge. So really encourage you to have your mat nearby, ready to do that. We'll take a short break. Then we've got a couple of amazing panels. The first one is Bounce Back, and we're going to be talking to some boutiques throughout Europe, UK. And then the final topic is business expansion and innovation. And as Hugh intimated in his opening, we've also put together a resource pack. So this is things that you can go away and start integrating into your business tomorrow. So just give me a second. I'm just going to pull up a deck here and just take you through what's been going on around the world. Okay. Right, we're good. Right, so first of all, hello. If you don't know me, my name is Emma, and I'm actually a Kiwi coming to you from Los Angeles. I do typically commute a lot to the UK and to Europe, but obviously been stuck here for a year. So really happy to be with you all. I understand we've got over 1,000 people either watching us live or on record later. So welcome, welcome. We've got people from all over the industry. We've got boutiques, independents, we've got our suppliers, some partners, some investors, and some good old entrepreneurs who are looking to get into fitness as perhaps a passion project going forward. So welcome, welcome all. So happy to have you here. So as I mentioned, this is me. So I come from a wonderful brand, Good Soul Hunting. We're an executive search brand, and we really specialize in the areas of fit tech, well tech, and health tech startups. So we're very, very excited to work with some of you folks out there. And we're just seeing an explosion, particularly in the US. It's a little flat in the UK right now, but business is back in the US. And I'll be sharing a little bit with you as we go through these slides. So first of all, this is the world I come from. This is what's happening in the United States this month. This is February, and these stats come from our friends in the business Boutique Fitness Solutions, who are a wonderful organization in the US. So again, if you're wanting to add to your worldly view, highly recommend jumping on their website as well. They've got lots of great resources, and they're based in New York, so they really have a good nub on what's happening in the United States. Now, if you run your eye down that graph, you'll see that we've got some places that are open, Atlanta and Philadelphia. We've got some that are operating at half capacity, some at 25 and some are closed. I happen to be in a lockdown state right now in California. So Los Angeles, New York City, San Fran and Seattle are closed. And we've got outdoor and some private training allowed. So that's our landscape at the moment. Now, a bit of a caveat. So it does feel like we've been in a bit of a competition over the last year with the United Kingdom to see who could do a worse job managing things. We've had 2 presidents, we've had about 50 governors, we've had science going in this direction. So it has been a bit of a crap show over here, but we're coming out of it now and we're beginning to see the end, and we're very excited. Obviously, vaccinations are sweeping through the country right now. So let's just quickly think about the trends of this year. And no doubt when you run your eye down there, you can tell we've all been held in place at home. It's looking very pandemic. Online training at number 1. Wearable technology at number 2, body weight training, because a lot of us were locked out of our facilities, outdoor activities, which has been a wonderful thing, really. And it's one of the things that members have asked for in the new normal. Weather permitting, can we go outside if it's possible? HIIT training, of course, still up there. It's been in the top 3 for the last 3 years. It's dropped a little bit, probably because of the pandemic. Virtual training, so training on the screens. Exercise is medicine, still there, no surprise. Health is the new wealth. Strength training, fitness programs for older folks, and I'm sure that's also been lifted by the pandemic. And of course, personal training, which in many cases has flourished during these times because of the quick flip into a remote coach or remote training, or doing that virtually. So that's sort of global trends. Now, when I look specifically into the boutique or the independent market, there's a few things that have happened here. First of all, there's obviously been a lot of people getting over that hump of digital adoption. So last time we spoke at Sweat last year and the year before that, I was still begging people to get into digital. I think we're past that debate now. Everyone's worked out that we do need to do that in some form going forward. It is part of the new ecosystem. Also, people have taken this opportunity to really take a white glove through all the back office operations, look under every touch point and work out what can be streamlined, what can be improved, what's no longer relevant, what new things do we need. So hopefully you've had some opportunity, and while it's been challenging, to look at your business with a fresh lens and work out what will survive in the new world. Obviously, a massive at-home trend, and that's been for work and for working out. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and how that's been affected at the Consumer Electronics Show as well. Now, not all the trends have been great, as we know. We just have to watch the headlines. Obesity's up, abuse is up, mental health issues are up, because whenever we're restricted, it really adds that added pressure. And I saw some wonderful comments from Hugh in the release, and the response, obviously, to Boris, etc., is, we are going to come back. We are responsible for really showing people health and happiness going forward. So exciting times for us. We do believe there's pent-up demand, and we are going to be there to serve when we open. Now, challenges, of course, we've had to overcome massive uncertainty. You guys have been locked down 3 times. First time it was kind of okay, people came back, then they just don't like the uncertainty. So now we have a little bit of security going forward. We can start to plan into that. And we know in countries like New Zealand, was speaking with my friends there the other day, they've been open a little while, they closed briefly the other day for a few days, but they're back to 85% of their capacity. So the members are going to be coming back. Don't believe the hype in the newspapers that saying the gyms are dead. It's just not true. However, it's going to be an and conversation. We'll be in the clubs and we'll be training digitally as a nice supplement. More on that soon. The rules and regulations were a challenge, right? We didn't know how many people, how far, the cleaning protocols, the operational costs, etc. A lot of us went free. Now, can you remember back in March last year, and we thought this was only perhaps going to last a couple of weeks, and we thought it'll all be over by May, and it wasn't. So we all kind of went free and freaked out and did Zooms and started, filming with all sorts of illegal music and the rest of it. And then, of course, it's been a slow claw back once we realised this is part of the new normal and that we're going to need to pay for this or charge for this in some way going forward. So we're going to hear some stories throughout the day of what people are doing there and how some people are doing really well in a way that the members are feeling really served. And then, of course, we've had second and third waves. So we've had a lot to deal with in the last 12 months. Now, the opportunities for our sector are huge. Health, as I mentioned before, is the new wealth. We've never had a microscope on health like it has been now. It has been, and I'm generalizing a little bit, but it has been the older populations, it has been the people who have underlying health problems, perhaps haven't made the best life choices, who have definitely suffered more during the last 12 months. So health is definitely on the radar. And for those that have opened up and closed and opened up again, you speak to a lot of club owners, studio owners that mention there's a lot of new people coming because they're now aware. So there's an awareness from the pandemic. There's also an awareness by the huge amount of digital money that's being flooded into the market around the importance of fitness, and more on that shortly. Digital's been adopted, as I mentioned before. We've all been pushed into an innovation accelerator. Now, if you've never been a part of, I've always been part of very innovative companies, Les Mills and Equinox, so we're always iterating all the time. But if this isn't your normal, this is the new normal. So having to iterate on the fly, do A/B testing a lot more, try stuff. If it doesn't work, pull it, try something else. Be prepared to be surprised, try new things all the time. So I think that's something that's here to stay, and hopefully we've got that lesson and we're a little bit excited about it because it's about bringing new products that our members are requesting going forward. Now, our member needs, that's something else that's happening. Our member needs are changing all the time. So we really need to surf that as well. Connected fitness is on steroids, going to show some details in a moment. Social media engagement has been off the charts, especially things like TikTok and Clubhouse. All the cool kids are on Clubhouse now. So that's sort of making its way around the planet. Outdoors, be military fit, whole lot of boot camps, and then all the boutiques, particularly here in the US, went outside until it got too cold. There's also been, when we look in the money market, there is definitely going to be a thinning of the herd, unfortunately. Some businesses are not going to make it back. We're hearing numbers here in the US of 30, maybe 40% in some instances not making it back. But at the same time, there's massive consolidation going on. So we are hoping that fit for purpose facilities are going to be backfilled by some of the scaling brands who have got deep pockets or have got financial backing during this time and are planning forward. And also there's going to be a professionalism of our industry, even more so, because we've now got big tech, we've got lifestyle, athleisure, all these adjacent industries are coming into health and fitness and wellness, and with it, all the software systems, all the data, and that's going to professionalize and accelerate us. So let's step through some real big banners. So the future is health, and we are essential. And it's never been more clear than us being taken off the radar. And congratulations to Hugh, to UK Active, Europe Active, URSA, all the associations around the world who, with very, relatively few lobbying dollars, have done a massive thing to get us, top of the table and get top of those conversations. However, our work's just beginning. We have to work hard to really lift the branding and the marketing of our whole sector around the importance. Now, one of the biggest things that happened here, of course, was Apple Fitness Plus launched. Now, Tim Cook has mentioned, their big gift to humanity is going to be to help people live healthier lives. That's their gift. So, and not all of you will be fully loaded on it yet, but they've crept into the market. They had a sort of a little bit of a fanfare, but not really, but it's going to change everything. So for $9.99, you push one button, you exercise, close your rings, get your biometrics, on the leaderboards, whatever. So this really has set the new standard of a seamless experience of all the things lining up. So this is like our new target, if you like. This is where we need to sort of head as an industry. So congratulations to Jay and the whole fitness team there. We've had new rules and regulations in our clubs, right? So now members kind of like the space if they've come back. Members like that all the studios are now clean. So this has lifted our operational costs and our SOPs and all of these things. but it's a good thing for members. It's something that they've been wanting, and they have it now. And hopefully now you have your operations locked down around that. So if we look at the digital space, and this has been the biggest conversation during these times, we are in a digital revolution and we're watching it in real time. So if you look across the players there, you've got the connected players. So you've got your Pelotons, your Mirrors, you've got your Tonals, and you've got your Hydros. You've got your brands. So you've got One Rebel, you've got Barry's, you've got core power yoga, so actual boutiques and brands or clubs. Then you've got sort of connected outdoors and Strava. What a great story there. What a massive turnaround because of COVID, and people just, you know, really linking into all the community and the social networks that Strava and also Zwift. They have to be two of the big players in that space around truly getting leaderboards and people connecting, and there's tricks in there for us as well. We've got all the biometrics. You've got your Fitbits, you've got your Halos, you've got your Apple Watches, and you've got your apps, so Sweat, and you've got your Obeys. If you're looking at content, your Les Mills On Demand. So everyone's come from a different angle, but they're all kind of coming to the middle, and then they're actually partnering, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that shortly. So here's my favorite word of the whole pandemic, and that is the future, in my view, is phygital. Now, what do I mean by that? It is marrying online and offline elements by taking the best of both to create a more satisfying customer experience. So it's a marketing term, and it can apply to retail. It can apply to our sector as well. So think about it. What's technology really good at? It's really good at being fast, immediate, immersive. Like, it can do something at the push of a button. It can collect a huge amount of data points, like with AI and ML, machine learning. It can pull all that in and drag it down for us. But what can we do in the real world? You know, we can come together and interact. We can touch and feel and experience. So when you bring both of those worlds together, that is, and it has to be, where fitness is going, because it's where entertainment is going. It's where retail is going. It's where ecotourism is going. Everything is heading here. So if there's nothing else you take away, just consider this as a term. Think of your brand. Think of the tech elements. Think of the in real life elements, and think about how you can blend them in a way that is most powerful for your members. And I think that would be the biggest gift. And this is going to be like a 2 or 3 year project, but just look to retail, look to food, look to other industries that are more evolved than ours, a little bit older. Remember, we're only 50 years old. Look forward and you'll see this in our future. Big tech is come to play, right? We've got Google and Halo. We've got actually Google and Fitbit. We've got Amazon and Halo. We've got Facebook and all the business and the pay platforms now. We've got Apple and themselves, Apple and everyone, and the hundreds of thousands of apps that they partner with and clear and look at and know about and track. So these guys are in our space now, the broader lifestyle space. Everyone knows there's a lot of money to be made there. They also know that it's part of what we desire as human beings. So it was just a matter of time before everyone landed on fitness as a service and fitness as a product. The future, and it's related to phygital as well, the future is predictive. So now's a really great time to analyze and look very deeply at the software systems that you are working with. How many software systems do you have? Are they doing things that you shouldn't be doing? Are you still having to do a lot of marketing? What are you doing manually in your business that really digital could do a lot better? And you've really got to make that jump. And I made this analogy last year. It's like going for a run with a mate. Your mate finds a bicycle, and they call that technology, and they are just going to take off. Okay, so that is what's happening right now. So wherever you are in your business, start to look at what's in your budget. What do you need to solve for now? And how can you start stepping into that technology conversation? Very, very important. And then you will stop making decisions from your marketing department, from the CEO, from the whatever. It will be data-led. This percentage of our members preferred this percentage preferred that. And it's also going to help you segment and also personalize, which is another massive trend. I want everything just as I want it, when I want it, how I want it. That is the world that we're stepping into. Think about all the fitness on demand. I get to choose how long, who with, where, how hard, all that stuff. That's all coming. So start thinking about in your brand, how can I do that? Let's talk a little bit about technology. So a couple of things I want to reference. The Fitness Future Rules of Engagement. So fantastic, cracking white paper from Ian Mullane from Keep Me. Just very provocative. If you haven't read it, please do. It will bring up lots of topics that you just need to be considering through the lens of your brand. So watch that. Secondly, CES this year was online, and really the big news here as it relates to the fitness industry is at home. There's a lot of technology that's going to keep you at home, and that's everything from the fridge and the cleaning things and the disinfecting and all that stuff, but also the fitness equipment and definitely the entertainment systems. 4K, 8K, ultra high def coming. LG are now doing AI processors, so we're really accelerating. Virtual production is fascinating. I know a lot of people have been spending a lot of marketing dollars over the years. There's a lot of technologies coming in now where you can just fake it kind of from your laptop and get some of those effects that you used to pay an extraordinary amount of money for in terms of TVCs, etc. Air purifiers, a lot of work going on around hygiene, not just cleaning surfaces, but then masks and helmets and air purifiers as well. So lots happening there. Now, in the fitness area specifically, so AI is charging ahead. It's always the number one conversation at the Consumer Electronics Show. 5G connectivity is enabling us to use more devices, and it's also enabling us for faster downloads, uploads, and the rest of it, okay? All the R's, okay? Virtual reality, okay? So expect the eyepieces and the mounting mechanisms to become realistic. And already we already wear sunglasses on the bikes, right? So I talked about this in the Ride High article recently. VR is coming. AR, augmented reality, or the putting of artifacts on the real world, where you're actually blending. Again, it's sort of that digital conversation again. Mixed reality, okay, blend, and parallel reality, where you and I perhaps go to the airport, we rock up to the sign, I see my loading boarding details, you see your boarding details, and it's picking up data points off me. So all of this is coming. When you go to shows like this, you see it all in action. Sure, they've got to roll it out. It's going to take a few years, but I know Delta, for example, were stepping into this if we hadn't had the pandemic. They were really starting to pilot this around the United States. Wearables, so whether it's a watch, a ring, a strap, an injectable, an edible, like there's all sorts of things coming at this point. And then hearables, anything that's happening in your ear. So this could be anything from audio workouts. Now think about outdoors and think about audio workouts. I don't always want to be running and following a screen. I might like to hear the instructor taking me on a walk, taking me on a run, taking me on an outdoor boot camp. These are all things you can relatively easily do as a brand with your trainers' voices. Oh, hey, here's a 30-minute circuit. Here's Joey from 5 o'clock, and away you go. Okay, so there's things that you can be doing. Hearables at the more extended end is using sensors in clothing where it's actually giving me real-time coaching. So Emma, pull your back shoulder back in your warrior, or something like that. So that's beginning to develop as well. The clothing's still relatively expensive, but it's coming, and we know all the big brands are beginning to move into that. So lots happening in that space there. Just keeping an eye on time. So it's been a seminal moment for digital fitness. You know, triple-digit growth in most of the big brands. There's Morning Meltdown 100, so Beachbody just did a 3-way merger to make a $3 billion company here in the United States. They bought a cycling and they got some BC money and they're away. So they're exploding on their online platform. Strava, of course, I spoke about before, Les Mills and triple-digit growth, Kayla and Friends, all the apps like that were established before have really seen massive growth. PT as well went very, very popular. I have a lot of people that I speak to over here in the US. They managed to maintain somewhere between 80 and 120% of their rev. So a very, very good success story here because of that ability to flick to remote coach or virtual coach very easily. People at home wanted the accountability. They were sick of being at home, getting fat, and provided they had a little bit of money coming in, they could keep their trainers on. Some trainers just took a bit of a pay cut, as so many people did, or they trained them in groups or families, and all of this stuff was pretty positive through the time. Now look at these stats. Now this was in April, so this was at the beginning of the pandemic. It got even bigger after this. Most of these guys are in 5x or more sales, growth, engagement. If you look at Peloton, they're well over 2 million members now, but they were up 5 times download. If you look at Echelon, which is a more affordable version of Peloton, same sort of thing, huge sales. Hypervolt. Look at Hydro. That is a secondary spend item. Now, our second panel of the day today, we're going to be talking about all those ways that you can do extensions on your brand, and that would be one of them. 5x sales on Hypervolt, which is the percussive recovery tool, because of Hydro. So not only was the brand going gangbusters, so was everyone, all the partners attached to it as well. And you can see the numbers there. Now, this was off a report. As I say, these numbers are out of date now, but this was April 2020, and that was the effect of connected fitness in the market. Just enormous. The future is partnerships. Now let's think about this for a second. So Peloton, the biggest name that is on everyone's lips right now. So they got sued for $300 million by the music industry, essentially. They went into negotiations, paid some money, not 300 million, but no one knows the exact amount, but they came out with a deal with Beyonce. Okay, so there was a partnership. What a great idea. Varus by Equinox, which has just been named Equinox Plus, I presume because no one could say Varus or spell it. But anyway, they've switched, but they've now got a relationship with Universal Music, so they now can use that music licensing. You've got Google there with Fitbit. You've got Lululemon with Mirror. You've got, who else has teamed up? Beachbody, I just spoke about before. So many partnerships coming in, and that was a $500 million spend at the beginning of the pandemic. So huge partnerships. We're coming to a point where it's going to be best in show. So look at some of the people here. You've got your fabulous Joe Wicks, of course, who's just gone gangbusters during this time, and I know was just going again. You're competing with Thor online now. You've got Misty Copeland there. You've got, Mr. Brady at 43, which is about 300 NFL years, still going and winning Super Bowls. Incredible. And you're seeing, diversification and just fame everywhere now through people that got established. So best in show. People are now able to do the best platform with the best talent, with the best entertainment, with the best music, and then giving it direct to market. So we're in some very interesting times, and fitness is about to get really, really good. The future is community. Now, I want to really, really emphasize this. Now, this is the one thing that big tech don't necessarily have. This is the one thing that you cannot buy. You have to earn this. And it has to be both arms around people. And this is what we do. This is our bread and butter. So you got to double down on community. What's the one thing we did better than anyone else was that we reached out to our community. We communicated with them. We took them with us. They were sympathetic. They knew that we were Zooming in our garage, but they came with us. And we were able to communicate, send out notices. I just had so many great stories during this time of people renting out equipment, doing drive-bys, sending stuff, doing all sorts of Zoom and other platform get-togethers to keep the community alive. Now, because we already had that relationship, we could continue that relationship. But if you don't know, like, and trust someone, you are not going to follow them through a pandemic, and you're not going to be there at the end of it. So big congratulations to a lot of you out there. I know the efforts that went into keeping your community engaged, uplifted, inspired, exercising, moving, mental health days, educated. Just enormous, enormous, great job, and well done on that. So just a couple of more gifts. If you have a look in the resource kit, you'll also see that so last year I launched a book. Pretty quickly I took it online once the pandemic hit because we couldn't go on our big book tour. So if any of that is of interest to you, that's definitely there for you. So you should have used and should use the remainder of your time to go through your business. Now, regardless of whether you're starting, scaling, established, reinventing, whatever it is, there's all these chunks you need to be focusing on. So brand, what is your purpose? Double down on your why. What is your pain? What are you solving as a founder? What are you solving for your community? Positioning, how are you positioned in the market? So it's very clear for people that you're there for and people you should not be there for. And then how do you position against competitors? The next part is product. People are your greatest asset, always have been, always will be. Programming, is it science-backed, but does it deliver to the soul? Place, when people come back to your place, are they going to get that real tactile, immersive, interactive, unbelievable experience? And what can you do to dial that up? The next three are around systems. What are your processes? Is my software good enough for where I'm going now? What is my plan? And you've probably had about 9 scenarios over the last year. And then how fast should I be going so that my staff is energized, but not burnt out? We're keeping up with the trends, but we're actually running a good business. And that's a real dance, right? And then the last thing is, how can we pull that all together? So that's just a little bit about what's in the masterclass, what's in the book. Takeouts from this session and as you go through today. There are new rules. You need a new playbook, and no one has all the answers. So make it up as you go. Be data-led, listen to your members, lean into what you love, partner with what you don't love or what you're not good at. Embrace digital, review your software. Content is king. Now that once we all settle, this is a very mucky period. Once we settle, trust me, content is going to be king. You're not going to get away with just shoddy, near enough's good enough. You are going to have to get better, because looking sideways, you're going to have some pretty interesting conversations with your competitors. Content is king. Stay agile and innovative. This is a wake-up call for all of us. We've got to stay on the edge of our seats as we move forward and develop products for our members. Pull your community closer, find ways to get them even more involved, okay? I talked about Zwift, I talked about Strava, the leaderboards, the camaraderie. It's so hard to leave a mechanism like that because you leave hundreds of logged hours, you leave hundreds of friends, you just can't leave, okay? We are the new church and we need to honor that. Personalize, okay, I want it just how I want it, when I want it, how long I want it, with who I want it. So just start thinking in that direction, and then partner for your gaps. For the things that you can't do well, think of some of those. And I was talking about big brands, think locally. Who should you be partnering with to complete that lifestyle circle? And then a couple of recommendations from the US. I highly recommend following the Boutique Fitness Solutions website. They have great resources. And also the Fit Insider. I know most people, you've got great resources in the UK as well. I'm just giving you the US ones. You've got Health Club Magazine, you've got Well To Do, you've got, all the things that happen, Ride High in the UK. I'm just adding a couple of the better ones here from the US. And then last but not least, Innovate or Die, which is usually how I sign off on things. Look, so if there are any questions, please do pop them in the chat. I'll get Izzy to flick those through to me and I'll answer those throughout the day.